Jstz. Today I had a good talk with during the lunch that some of members of my family think that I'm a lawyer because I turned my career into advocacy, which is developer advocacy. And before I go to a bit more technical part of this, I want to talk to you in different languages, and will need some help. And if you did understand what I'm saying, please raise your hand. Привет, мир. Меня зовут Beata Lipska, и я работаю в компании TezDev. Я люблю технологию и преподавание, потому что я здесь сегодня с вами. I hope I didn't made some huge mistakes. How many people understood that one? Don't be shy. Yeah, we have one Russian speaker too. All right. Witaj świecie. Nazywam się Beata Lipska i pracuję jako developer advocate w firmie TezDev. Uwielbiam technologię i nauczanie, dlatego jestem tutaj teraz z wami. How many of you understood that one? Come on, Polish people. No? All right, I understood that one. All right, and the last one. Mia mono estas Beata Lipska, kaj mi estas programista avokato ĉe TezDev. Mi amas teknologion kaj instruation. Tial mi estas ĉi tie hodiaŭ kun vi. How many of you understood that one? Arthur, I'm now impressed. No? Do you know that one? It's Esperanto. Oh my God, that was not set up. That was actually a real thing. Applause for Arthur. I'm very impressed. So probably, yeah, except Arthur, no one else heard about Esperanto. I used to live in Warsaw when I was studying, and I lived at the building at a street called Ludwig Zamenhof Street. And there was one bus stop called Esperanto, and I thought, oh, what a fancy bus stop name. I thought it's Italian. But then I Googled Ludwig Zamenhof, and Esperanto as a language. It's an artificial language that he invented to help people communicate with each other. But the problem with Esperanto is that only Arthur knows it. And me. Of course, there's two of us. So, yeah, and now I'm going to read the actual thing. Hello world, my name is Beata Lipska, and I'm developer advocate at TezDev. I love technology, and I love teaching. That's the reason why I'm here today with you. So how many of you understood that one? Come on, don't be shy. Woohoo, yeah. So JavaScript is the English of programming languages. And you know what? I come from background of software engineering, and you know, we engineers, we have our language pride. We are proud of our languages, and I worked in PHP for many years. And trust me, my pride was broken so many times by Golang engineers, by Ruby engineers, especially Ruby engineers. And yeah, but PHP community is still there, and it's quite good. But when it comes to JavaScript, it feels, you know, those smiley faces of like, heh, yeah, it's very old school. It's not. It was there for all the time, like English to us. And pretty much we all used JavaScript at some point. So I think the moment that we decided, all right, so why don't we start with JavaScript, was kind of groundbreaking, especially for me, because like, all right, it feels kind of Web 2 vibe, which I like, because I'm still new to Web3 ecosystem. And I feel like I'm discovering something new every day, which is a great experience for a software engineer like me. And with JavaScript, I was asked to write a demo that I'm going to show you in a second. And I was like, all right, so my JavaScript skills are pretty rusty because of my PHP, Golang, and Ruby experiences. And I was like, no, I will never be able to write anything. But apparently, JavaScript is huge. So, over 23 million active developers worldwide. And it's 63% of all active developers worldwide. And if we look at one of the most vibrant and the most powerful ecosystems in number of packages, which is NPM packages, it's over 3 million available online, just out of the box to be used right now. And it's a great, great community, and it's a great, great and powerful set of tools that we can use just right now. Okay, so let's talk about developer experience, because it feels like, yes, in Tezos we have great tech, and we are able to serve millions of people that know JavaScript. And you need to bear in mind that Jstz, I will introduce in a second, is quite very early stage, let's say, yeah? But we need to think ahead. And when it comes to developer experience, I think, from my perspective, there are 3 major things that we need to consider: productivity, impact, and satisfaction. So productivity is not, waking up, drinking 5 coffees before 12. It's more than onboarding. It's more like smooth onboarding. It's more than just like having things done at the end of the day or by Friday and put it on production on Friday. It's something more than that. And the impact that we can have as engineers is also huge, because if we produce things that will never bring any change to the world or to the product that we are co-creating, it's pointless. And the satisfaction from work is also extremely important. And I think that what is driving retention. Because if we don't have the satisfaction from our work, we will change. We need a change. So long story short, developer experience can be fun or not fun at all. So the smooth onboarding, efficiency and speed, learning quickly, and knowledge sharing. Now, of course, knowledge sharing is what we have now here, but also asking right questions to AI. And AI is fed with every single information about JavaScript since the beginning. And if you ask for a quick hint in JavaScript, in, for example, ChatGPT, it will help you. Trust me, I tried. So now, like, I won't tell you the story how I transitioned from Web 2 to Web 3. It was not as painful as many of you could imagine. Probably you went the same route as well. But some people don't want to transition to Web 3 because, oh no, it's a lot of learning. You need to learn a lot. And it's not like, it's different tooling. It's whatever they use in Web 3 is not really compatible with what we use now. It's a different business model. It's different this, different that, yeah? And it's painful. And, for some people that work full-time, I don't know, in Web 2 companies, it is, and it would be painful to use one of the Web 3 tools. But entirely, if we want to be the cloud for Web 3, if we want to be the vision for Tezos X is possible, we need to make it way less painful. So it should be fun. It should be open, and people should use the tools that they already know, that they are already familiar with. And it's so obvious. But yeah, it's happening with Jstz. So no learning curve. That's the long story short. So let's look at Jstz, because it feels like Jstz was mentioned so many times in previous presentations, so I'll keep repeating the same thing. And it's part of a bigger picture, of course. But what is the most important part from my side is not only about the syntax. Of course, we can write some smart function easily in JavaScript, but actually using the tools that we're already familiar with, for example, the NPM packages, and we have the experience that we normally have as JavaScript engineers, because Jstz, there's no need to compile down to anything. We have the JavaScript runtime, which is entirely a sandbox where we have JavaScript engine built in. There's no really much difference between the experience for developer that is developing in Web 2 and Web 3. It's like Arthur said before, it's smart function as web service. That's it, simple as that. So at the moment, because of course you've seen Jstz on the roadmap for Tezos X somewhere there, but the future is happening now. And what we can do now with Jstz. So we have a local sandbox. We are able to write some smart functions, which are technically smart contracts. We can bridge some tests. We can deploy and run smart functions, and we can play around them. For example, we can use the key value store functionality that I'm going to show in a second. And we have some tools to debug. So if you want to know everything, this is the documentation. Use the QR code. Of course, it's very early stage, but you can step by step install Jstz on your machine and do what I want to do now, which is, for example, it's URL shortener. For those people who don't know what URL shortener is, so you have a very, very long URL, and you want to make it way less complicated. So you can get like a short version of your URL, and whenever you use that short version of URL, you'll be redirected to the long one. Simple as that. So here you have the example of how I managed to write that demo. So you literally need to generate like a short code that will just is randomized, and that short code will be stored with the original URL. And whenever we go to that that short one, we will retrieve the original URL, and we will be redirected. So. Demo time. So that's the moment that the goddess of live demos is looking at me. But let's not give up. Let's make it work. So first of all, I'm going to show you the sandbox. So JS, easy. Of course, I won't show you the whole installation because we don't want to go through that. It's pretty easy. But I think it's cool how the sandbox starts. So yeah, you can see the hammer. It's a hammer, by the way. Yeah. I don't know why you're laughing, but fair enough. Yeah, so the sandbox is starting. So with the sandbox, as you can see, we have seeded some addresses. We have some balance on them. So next step, ideally, would be creating an account, Alice or Bob. But of course, I did that before. But yeah, it's very easy to create that sort of account and send some tests. Actually, do you want to see how to create the account? No? Yes? No? Kryptonio says no. Yeah, you said yes? Fine. All right, so let me just get a new window. So you literally type, I'll make it bigger, sorry. So yeah, I tried this before, so I don't have to type all the way. So yeah, I can literally do something like that. So I'm, as you can see, bridging some tests from Bootstrap account to the new account. Ideally, it was Bob, and Bob will help me to deploy my smart function now. So I prepared like the URL shortener. So let's go to code. Yeah. So I wrote everything in TypeScript, so easy. And so let's build everything. Simple as that. So now all I need to do is to deploy that smart function. Actually, I can show you. So the code that I used is literally here. And yeah, it's going to be stored in key value store. And let's have a look what we're gonna have here. So Jstz, and let's say deploy. All right, so Smart function was deployed by Bob, of course, to that specific address. And to run this Smart function, I literally need to do this. But I want to provide some data to that code, so I'm going to copy the first part. All right, just to save the time. And here, I'm using the endpoint that will shorten my long URL. So I will need some help from my notes. So I need to literally copy this. Yeah. Thanks God I don't have to type it all the way down. So yeah, and what we can see here. So I copied too much. So what I'm using here, the endpoint is called shorten, and I'm using some data, which is the long. Maybe it's not that long, but yeah, let's say it's the original URL, and I'm posting it to my sandbox environment. So we're doing it now. Okay, that was the moment of truth, and I didn't know if it's going to work. It does work, so yes. So we have code 200, which is good. And as you can see, the new short URL is this. So now, one last thing we need to do is to check if it actually works. So again, we need to call Jstz. It sounds kind of cool, call Jstz. Hammer. Okay, that was a joke. And then let's run again. So now we need to use the URL that we have here. And of course, it's still development. So yeah. As you can see, status code was moved, and of course, the headers were changed, and it is pointing to my original long URL. So as you can see, it does work. So yeah, and it was all deployed on Jstz locally. So, okay, that was pretty quick. And but as you can see, now we can kind of move on. So when Jstz, yeah, and it shows here that it's 2025. But in fact, it's not, because now we need you. We need a Justice League. And it's you. We're here at TezDev, so you are builders, you are creators. You can shape that ecosystem from the very beginning. And it's a very, very cool and very, very important one for Tezos X road, because we all need to kind of enjoy the ride, yeah? And using JavaScript natively will make this ride very less painful, way more fun, and let's say way more productive. So open source, you are here to contribute, you are here to help us build this and shape the reality for us as a Web3 developers, and help us onboard as many Web2 developers and their applications to Tezos ecosystem. And that's it from me. Thank you so much. It was a real, real pleasure.